this morning on the call. Marcia called me. I said, Marcia, I was in there. It was pouring. And it was thunder. And they said, there's no way this march will happen today. Marcia had no fear. And I had. Trust me, we're here. And thank you very much for coming. We are making a difference. We have gotten notice. Because I can tell you, from the calls that I get, from people who sit over there. So they're scared, you know. But they have masters other than us. You know, when they go for elections, they tell you, we are your servants. But immediately after elections, they become big bosses. And they feel they own the place and they can do whatever they like. And I can start, anybody don't want to start. National Insurance Fund is in crisis because of the action, not only of this administration, but the last, and the one before that, but you know the one before that, and the time before that, they were all B, D, B, D, B, D. And all of them believe that it is their money that they can do what they like with. The problem is, the Democrats are requiring money to have their conference today, so on the election, I don't know what it is. So they will use that as an excuse not to be here. But the real excuse is that they are ashamed. They are ashamed of what they have done. When you do something wrong, the first thing you should go and do is acknowledge your mistake, say you're sorry, and move on. Do not allow other people to come around and do the same thing because you did it too. And this is what we have in the political party. So that is why we don't have them. But do we need them? I don't think so. It would have been better. But they're not even good political strategists. When the merchants and Barbados wanted to get rid of the NSRL, National Social Responsibility Levy, which I believe to this day was one of the fierce taxes, but the merchants and all the big, they enlisted support of the debt opposition. And Mayor led march. This man is too foolish to lead this one. They don't have any political skills. Because I would have done back to them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Alvin Hall. He's the president of Unity Workers. You know, if you don't know him.
All right.
He can come and take it down, secretary. Thank you, Alvin.
Mr. Stewart.
But let me tell you something, see? I was telling you when I started that the fund is in peril because of the actions of all of them, but more so of this party. Because they saw what they think is a big bang of money, and then dipped the hand in it, and then decided, look, we're going to write it off. It is not yours to write off.
Correct.
They were trustees of the money. And if you are a trustee, I am one for some children right now. I don't take their money. Because if I take the children's money, the mothers could go and put me in court, get me locked up. And unfortunately, we're going to be able to lock up these politicians in Barbados for carrying the people's money. But you imperil the fund. Make sure that we don't have enough money down the road to pay. So you're asking us, having put that money there, you're asking us to go back and put it again. That is unfair. Especially when you write off money for people who own buildings in Bridgetown, who are renting stores in Bridgetown, not paying national insurance, not paying any sort of VAT, not paying anything, and then he said, yeah, consider rent off. I know who they are, their names in the registry. So when they wrote off the debt and they said, oh, we don't know who they are because they've been going back for 20 years, that was a monstrous lie. Because the books are still in the registration department, some of them as old as me, and the big books are almost as heavy as me. The books are still there. So that was a lie to make you feel, oh, because this thing was going on, because they wrote off the taxes for people from 1968. From 1968 to 2000, we have people in Barbados that did not pay any tax. 1968. And they wrote it off. And I'm going to ask the Prime Minister if one of those people were her father.
Right? Right?
Now, I'm asking a question. I am asking when the people who benefited from the write-off, if one of them was Elliot Marley, and then after that, the Knighton, I'm calling you sir. No, ask her. When she said, "What we write off, like, whose benefit?" That write-off was for certainly not the people who pay the taxes already. We have people in Barbados who go into the stores, pay VAT. Go into legal offices, pay VAT for the work that they have done. And then, you're supposed to pay in. So they keep it. And this administration said, "Well, look, keep it, man. It wasn't theirs to keep.
Our money.
It is their crime to collect VAT and don't pay." Anybody got prosecuted?
No.
Why? Because they got big friends and family. And then they're asking you to pay back money that you didn't have, that you paid already. But worse yet, having done that, they're saying to you, "I can make you pay twice, but you're going to get less pension." Yeah, you're working longer. You have to work longer now, but you're going to get less pension. That is how this government operates. They don't care anything about the people that are most vulnerable in this country. But that is their job, to take care of the most vulnerable, simply because the fellas who are up there, big boys, got a lot of money, they don't need national insurance, don't need anything else. But people like me and you, the only pension we got, because we can't afford to go to the big pension funds, and we can't go there. So I said, "Well, look, I can use some of my millions to live in retirement on, or I can sell my BS&T or whatever and live happily ever after." We paid money into the national insurance scheme to make sure that we will have a decent pension at the end of our careers. When you most need the money, because let me tell you something. For the first 20 years of my life, I went to the doctor once, and then because they put some in my mouth and popcorn shot blowing bubbles, and it blistered me. That's the only time I went to the doctor. But after that, as I get older, I would say this other every week. One day and then one day with the right knee, then with the left foot. Oh, can I stop happening to me? Kidney stones, you name it. But the first 20 years of my life, I don't know the doctors. So if you are like me, coming on to the later years, because people say middle age is 60, you know. Because middle age was 60, people live 120. Middle age is 40, 45. And if you are like me, that is when you're going to pay doctor bills. But that is when the medical insurance people decide that you are too much of a risk, we are insuring you no more. So you have to use your national insurance money.
Correct.
Or go and sit down at the polyclinics or the accident in emergency. Well, I had experience last couple weeks ago with 2 polyclinics. I went and I do it. If you dump me, go about to the house and send me now and check my car. I got a can of Lysol in the cabin hole. When I left them places, before I get in the car, I just spray the bottom of my shoe, put that one in the car, and then take it next. I fighting for the places. I don't want to go in there. But that's what they're going to relegate you to, because you are not going to get a decent pension to buy a proper diet. I go to the supermarket, I go up Popular, and I see people with a whole case of ramen and a few other things inside there. So we can get some now, all of them right here is ramen because that's all we can afford, because the government robbing the people. And you taking it. And then when they disadvantage you, they come at the end of the period and come back and say, "Oh, we love you, Mayor cares." Mayor cares my foot. You know what she cares about, because you had this, she tell you she don't give a. Remember? Yeah. That is the real mayor. She don't really care. But that is the propaganda that they were given to spew during election time. And you were caught by it. But let me tell you why you shouldn't be caught by it, and why I'm disappointed in my people. They lower the taxes on businesses in Barbados. So all the big businessmen in Barbados who still work for their companies, now they're cooperating. and calling themselves George Michael Inc. and all kind of stuff, and paying 5% tax while you are paying 12.5% or 28%, depending which level you're at. Then people paying 2 and 5. So they lower the tax on the rich and put the burden on the poor. And I can tell you what we're talking about. Poor people in Barbados, or rich people, or any people have to use water. You can't get away from it. But what they did, they taxed water. They put $1.50 tax on water, $45 a month. $1.50 a day, $45 a month. The minimum you can pay at the water authority was $32. So you put a tax of $45 on a $32 bill for the poor, because it's the poor that was paying $32, you know. And big businesses in Barbados, big hotels, they were still paying $32. I'm telling you, I got the facts. But they didn't care. They didn't care. How I know all this? Because I had to go and represent the lady who tried to make the hotels pay more money and to charge her with an offense, trying to dismiss her because big business in Barbados can't be touched. I had to go and represent her. I won the case.
All right.
But, you know, but they tried to get rid of a lady who said, no, these businesses and these hotels should be paying the same as an old fellow who got a one-door shop and a pipe in the yard. You imagine that, a hotel paying, not even the smallest hotel should pay $32. But that doesn't bother the government, but they're coming after you. They're coming after you to pay, to make sure the rich don't pay. And you go out there so I get them another 30 seats again and make them even more powerful than they were. Well, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But the fool a third time. So what's happening? You have to stand up to these people. And when they come to your houses, tell them to put back the national insurance money. And not only national insurance money, you have civil servants now. When they come into the service, they're going to work to 68. And you know, every profession can work to 68. I can work to 90. Because I sit down and I use my mouth. I talk enough. Use my brain too. But the people who have to use their hands, use their bodies to work, they can't work to the 68. But you see, they decided they can get pensions at 50, you know. It used to be 55. And they're bringing down to 50. But while they're bringing down the civil service one, but they're bringing down theirs to 50, they can't bring everybody to 68. Imagine that. You know, but watch. We had some nice police officers accompany us today. Imagine them running up behind a fellow at 67, 68. Can't do it. They can catch me. But they can't catch a young fella at 25. But they ain't gonna catch me going and do nothing wrong. But firemen, you go in the house and look somebody put over your shoulder and coming on the ladder. At 56, 57, 58, 60, after they hit you, coming down the ladder. Everybody coming down one time. So these people don't even think. They just allow the IMF to tell them what to do, how to run Barbados. Every other leader, up to and including Sanford, tell the IMF, no, thus far and no further. Now, Sanford was not the greatest prime minister in the world, everybody know that. But he had the guts to stand up to these people. This current administration, when they go to the IMF, with cap in hand and say, yes, sir, 3 buys full. They do everything they tell them to do. They were telling them for years that Barbadians' pensions are too generous. Too generous, my foot. You see the cost of about here?
But that's the money though, generous?
You see the cost of living in this place? And it's too generous. So, And they came to the people and lied. The IMF a bunch of liars. They said that they did an audit and they do some actual review of the government pension plan. Can I tell you, I heard them with my ears and I laughed. You know why? Because government did not have their pension plan. They pay pensions from current revenue. So when you pay taxes, they pay salaries and stuff and pensions out of that. There was no pension plan. So when they said that and they tell the population that, oh, we did a study and the study showed this, it was a monstrous lie. And the thing is, the Prime Minister knew it was a monstrous lie, but she didn't want to upset them because she is the guardian of the outside world, going up there getting vaccines that are poisonous and all that. They let people experiment for it because they know she's an idiot, and she got used by Barbados as their guinea pigs. So even with the economic policies, they're trying to work on Barbados to see if it can work. We are guinea pigs. This government ain't 30 of them ain't got a brain among them. I don't understand. What people who don't have a job, cannot find work, unemployed and unemployable, because they get elected, they become experts in something. Look at them. Look up there. We had, I'll give you an example. We had one fella, when he was sworn in, he read the oath, and he was supposed to read Her Majesty her heirs and successor, but it's spelled like hairs. The man said he pledged what do you call it? His loyalty to the Her Majesty, her heirs and successor. And I said, yeah, he's His Majesty heirs. Very good. But that is what you have over there, masquerading as MPs. They are, and they can't help anybody. So all they do is help themselves. Make sure they get their pension, and at 50, then you get a salary that they're getting. And you get half your salary as your pension. You can live for life. Because most people in Barbados don't make half their salary. And they live and got children to support us at the school. So it's all about them. But they come and they try to give you the impression that they are working on your behalf. No, they're not working on your behalf. Let me give you an example of national insurance. They tell everybody in Barbados that they are going to make national insurance a statutory board. That was so funny. I don't know how that thing. National Insurance Board, National Insurance was a statutory board since 1966, where Barrow put it in place. Everything that they put in place for the National Insurance to do now in this current bill, National Insurance already had the right to do. But that was a lot of fluff. The real thing, because when Barrow made National Insurance a statutory board, he did not give them all the powers of normal statutory boards. He took away one from them, and that was to hire staff. National Insurance Board does not have the authority to hire a single person, not even a maid. So they work to get their hands on the jobs in the public service. So they're going through this big ruse and going just before Kadooment and pass a bill. It shows that, they're doing things in the dark. They don't want you to know what they're doing. Because the House now meets on Tuesday. And they met on Tuesday. And then come Friday, I don't know who to talk. I heard in the press, I see nothing, that the House has some sort of emergency session to pass a bill that they want to implement in January next year. Why the emergency? You want to wait? Because you will be distracted of their jumping up behind the bands and walking up and doing all kind of fancy things. So you'll be distracted, so you don't pay them the money. So they pass it on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, bank holidays, and then they're going to pass it in the Senate. When they found out, they kicked hell. And then they pull back. And to show you how really incompetent and stupid they are, they then, that very day when they were supposed to be and pass the bill, instead of passing it, they got somebody from the National Insurance, the actuaries, and whoever else, to come to the Senate to explain to the Senate what the bill is about. Man, you never going to pass it that same day, but for Master Rickshaw and me. They were going to pass it that same day, I didn't even know what it was about. You want to know why? Because the Prime Minister has surrounded herself with a lot of idiots. But idiots attract idiots, I suppose. And they were willing to pass piece of legislation without even understanding what it was all about, because they were told you about one pass that. They said, no, use no purpose out there. When you are working at a statutory board, even though there are qualifications that you should have, the minister can say, oh, no about that. But if you are a policeman, a clerk, even a schoolmates work server, your qualifications are settled in law. So if you don't have them, you can't get the job. So when you take them and put them outside of the public service, then they can put you over the light. And all of a sudden, National Insurance getting 8 new chiefs. 8. Chief of this, chief of that, chief of that, 8. So they start already. They can carry money first thing. I know they can't get out their friends big jobs to carry even more. And you sit down and taking it. I don't blame you, because a lot of people don't know, a lot of people don't understand. Because I heard a report that the president of the Democrat Labour Party was saying that 68 is not in the legislation. He can't read the thing properly. The legislation defines pensionable age, and it says it's the age settled in the Schedule 1. So you can't read Schedule 1. So I don't understand. You cannot walk about the place, want to become a leader of this country, and don't understand the basics. Because then, if they get in power, we can get another set of drones. We got a whole set up there now and who destroying this country, and you're going to get another one. Tell them go and equip themselves before they offer themselves to the people of this country. Because right now, Barbados is in dire straits, not only because of this club that we have running it, but because a succession of clowns. Let's say you reach 60, 63, 64. You lose your job for whatever reason, because you know the employers of Barbados don't like older people, because older people over the years they get increase in salary, but they can get rid of them and bring the little fella from school and give him $2,500. I know you get rid of a man that they're earning 8. So when you're in that position, nobody looking for you at 60, they're on your job, so you can decide, look, I'm going to clear my national insurance early. If you claim early, you should use half of 1% per month for each month that you claim early, or 6% a year. These people can't even 9 now. So if you think you can retire early and live, you can lose 9% a year for each year that you claim early. But what a lot of people don't understand is that when you take off the 9%, and it is going to bring your pension down below $242, National said, no, we don't pay less than $242, so they won't allow you to claim early.
But frankly, should NIS have been taken out of central government in the first place? Can you answer that for me, please? Central government. Because I heard when the Prime Minister said
National Insurance was always out of central government. Only the staff was in central government.
Okay.
Those people lying to you. Don't listen to anything they tell you. National Insurance from the Barrow days, 1966, 67, was out of central government. There was a National Insurance Board that managed the fund. These people come out there and trick you. They're lying to you. Don't listen to any of them. Anytime they tell you anything, take it with a pinch of salt. I don't know these politicians for telling the truth once. Don't believe them. This is a ruse. They have ulterior motives. They want to get their hands not only on the money but on the jobs. for their friends.
But it seems that the privatizing Barbados altogether. They sell the bank, ICBL.
But they can help you.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to keep you much longer because Kimar is here, and I'm sure you want to hear him more than you want to hear me. Because I want to hear him. You know? He is a young man who the Dems don't even want because he's bright. They don't want bright people in politics, you know. You want drones. You want people who can't think for themselves. Well, this young man can think for himself. Come, Kimar, you take this thing from me because I ain't got nothing more than 7 years. You've been here to stop talking ever since.
Go, Mr. Eastman.